Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about The Traitors US Season 2, Episode 8, titled Knives at Dawn. Last week on The Traitors, Peter rejected Parvati and Phaedra's invitation to recruit. Sandra and Kevin won shields in the daily challenge, leading to a safety chain ceremony that left Trishelle, Bergie, Kate, Parvati, and MJ eligible for murder. Before I dive in, if you missed any recaps or if you're a first-time listener, I put a link in the subject so you can catch up on previous recaps, and consider subscribing if you like the content. So let's dive into it. The players filter into breakfast in the morning, where CT spills coffee all over Sheree.
Slept fine. I'm not nervous. Why? You nervous?
CT brings up that Parvati is a traitor, and Sandra reminds us,
me and Parvati have history, and I'm gonna take Parvati out.
Everyone who's not at risk comes in first, with a big knock announcing Kate returning dressed like Jeepers Creepers and MJ not in her fabulous blue pocketed jeans, with Parvati and Trishelle following, revealing that yes, my Bergie-licious, yes, my baby has been murdered. We flash back to the Traitors deciding that murdering Bergie is the next best thing to killing Peter. So Bergie-licious gets his murder letter and we have to say goodbye to Bergie here. It's crazy that like 6 months ago we were watching Bergie live growing up on TV, being this really innocent fish out of water on Love Island. And then he comes and films this show pretty much right after that. And he's just being peers with Johnny Bananas and CT, no big deal. And he represents himself really well here. I feel like the Faithfuls are set up in a place where they can look very foolish, even if they're a smart person. He did well in challenges, always being an asset to the team, especially when he figured out the pattern in the Spotlight Challenge and led the team to victory there. He ends up in an alliance with all Faithfuls, who are onto the Traitors completely. He got really unlucky here with this safety chain twist, which never should have happened. If all the options were on the table, Bergie definitely would not have been murdered here or anytime soon. I'm still left with a positive view of Bergie, and dare I say it, Bergie for the challenge, not USA, main challenge. Back at breakfast, John eulogizes Bergie.
And we must pay our respects.
Trishelle says she's still after Phaedra because she has a telling twitch in her eye. Alan enters cosplaying as a cool French quilt from the 70s in a red beret and yellow glasses. He tells them they're going to be going to his holiday home. Around the manor, Trishelle tells Peter about Phaedra being a traitor, with the biggest reason that Dan threw Phaedra's name out there at the banishment. Trishelle suggests that they cozy up to Parvati and tell her that they don't think that Parvati's a traitor and that they want to get Phaedra instead. This was great gameplay from Trishelle, and she's really showing herself to be an impressive strategist. Peter pulls Parvati to chat and MJ eavesdrops. Parvati is willing to work with Peter if it can help her game. MJ reports this conversation back to the rest of the house, and elsewhere in the manor, Phaedra is trying to convince Sheree and John that Peter is actually sketchy. Peter and Parvati do end up making a truce, and Peter brings Phaedra up to Parvati, all part of Trishelle's plan. Later, they head to their mission. In the van, Trishelle openly continues her plan to push Phaedra's name. Sandra, who is Phaedra's friend, is not loving this plan and still wants to go for Parvati. They get to the cabin where the special guest is saying, and is revealed to be the Big Brother legend, Dr. Will. They enter the cabin and Dr. Will locks them in and tells them to find their way out. There's $20,000 in gold available, and for every person who doesn't escape, they lose $1,000. If they want to quit, they have to call out the safe word, haggis. They're already acting like the cabin is scary. It's not scary, it seems quite lovely up front. They find a clue under the tablecloth with a key telling them to escape through the tunnels. The tunnels are when things get scary.
Oh, shit!
In the tunnels, Trishelle and Parvati get covered in bugs, and Trishelle gets some gold. In the cabin, MJ sees bugs and says,
haggis, haggis, haggis.
Phaedra does too.
Oh no, haggis, haggis.
CT helps Trishelle get a shield from a rotting corpse. Sheree has a full breakdown, and she and Kate
I'm out. I'm over this shit. Bye. Oh shit, baby, you got bugs on you.
The ladies all left Kevin alone with the bugs and in charge of the lights and the walkie-talkie. The rest of the players escape the tunnels, with CT snatching some gold last minute and pretending it's a snake in his pants. Through this, they collected $15,000 but lost $4,000 from the quitters, winning only $11,000 for all that effort. Alan asks them to reveal who won the shield, and Trishelle is mum. Somehow, after playing in all that mud, they're all asked to change back into the same outfits from before. Parvati meets with John and cries to him, saying when she's under attack, she becomes icy, and John seems like maybe he's falling under her spell. Elsewhere, Phaedra is preoccupied with the menu.
Oh, pork belly, yummy.
The Faithfuls strategize, and Trishelle is going all in on her Phaedra campaign. Phaedra comes in and plops right down next to Trishy. They all leave awkwardly. On to the round table, where it's clearly going to be Phaedra or Parvati, with Trishelle seeing that Phaedra has solid allies that won't vote for her no matter what she says. Parvati starts off giving the same argument that she gave John earlier, maybe she was practicing, that she made bad friends in Dan and got defensive. Trishelle starts railing out her list of notes, saying Phaedra never is surprised with who's murdered at breakfast, that she's never nervous.
I'm not frantic like you.
She brings up Dan putting out Phaedra's name. Phaedra says Dan must have been protecting the other traitors, and Kevin brings up Phaedra's twitchy eye. When asked, John says Parvati could be a
Duchess of Deception and a Mistress of Murder.
and Dan's partner in crime. Peter chimes in to interrupt this and brings things back to Phaedra. Phaedra chimes in saying,
There's a backdoor deal going down.
telling everyone that in the armory, Peter proposed a deal and that Phaedra didn't want to be part of it. Kate is not happy. She says Dan said Phaedra's name because
He just sucked at playing this game. That's why he's not here.
So the time for talk ends and it's time to vote. All of the votes went to Parvati and Phaedra. Votes for Parvati were MJ, Phaedra, Sandra, John, Sheree, CT, and Kate. Votes for Phaedra were Peter, Parvati, Trishelle. Kevin votes for Phaedra, who says,
Twitchy eyes.
so obviously Parvati got more votes and reveals that she's a traitor, to big applause from Sandra. I love seeing Sandra act with respect towards Parvati. And it seems like on social media, they've settled their beef from doing the show. But we do lose Parvati, which is kind of sad. But also, she was pretty doomed from the second that she was recruited. It was fun seeing her mischievous side again, so I'm happy she was a traitor, not a faithful. But from the beginning, the way she was acting and the faces that she was making, it was just obvious that she was a traitor. Especially for the last few episodes, it was pretty clear that Parvati had no chance to win either way. Everyone knew she was obviously a traitor, and I think that the faithful's plan was just to drag her along to the finale and then cut her in the end. As a huge fan of hers, I was just hoping to get her through episode by episode just to have her on TV, but I do realize that that's a bit selfish on my part because having someone who everyone knows is a traitor on the show ruins the murder mystery aspect of it. While I loved having Parvati on the show, this game, or maybe just this cast, wasn't suited to her strengths, where if it were half newbies, I feel like Parvati has a lot easier time, but I'm left just wanting more Parvati on Survivor. After the banishment, Sandra tells us,
I'm ready to win the Traitors.
Kevin and MJ meet, and he tells MJ that he's sus of Peter for making a deal with Parvati. Peter pulls Kate to tell her what his plan was, and she calls him a traitor to the faithfuls, even if he is a faithful.
He's just so annoying.
In the turret, Alan tells Phaedra that she can now recruit, but the faithful will have no choice but to say yes, so she chooses Kate.
We'll be a murdering duo.
We leave off with Kate being sent to the dungeon,
I hate this place. Shithole.
where she'll soon have a choice but no choice to become a traitor. That's going to be really fun, and we're getting towards the end of the season, and I feel like the faithfuls are probably going to win at this point. Sometimes I feel like when the traitors get to recruit so late in the season, it becomes really unfair for the faithfuls. Mentally, based on likability, I'm rooting for the traitors, but based on fairness, I'm rooting for the faithful. But let me know in the comments. Right now, do you think the traitors or the faithfuls are going to win, and who do you think will be banished or murdered next week? And consider subscribing if you like the video. I'll be back next Thursday to talk about the next episode of The Traitors. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye!